Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm Rhoda and I make videos every single week on different topics of life that might be helpful to you in your journey. If you haven't noticed already, last week I made a couple of videos with the message that you don't need to be anybody else other than you, because that's what the world needs right now. If you haven't watched those videos, please go and watch them. I will link them so that you can check them out. They are under the playlist You Do You. In the last two videos, I motivated you to embrace your difference and also to do whatever you need to do in your own way. But this video, I want to touch upon a couple of things that might stop you from doing that. These are things that you might have noticed in other people, but it's very hard to notice in yourself. And so I thought I would talk about it so that it becomes common knowledge, so that if you catch yourself even thinking that way, you will realize that that is what is stopping you from being the best version of yourself that you can be. The whole idea of being true to yourself and living out your purpose will not work if you think that you are mediocre or average or not having value in this world. It will also not work if you believe that your true self needs to safeguard only your interests without regard to the interests of others. So I want to talk about two mental blocks or two attitudes that we might have within ourselves without even knowing it, that stop us from being our true selves. Now, block number one is this attitude that we have, that I am like this only. Now, this is something that I've heard a lot, and I'm sure you have too, and it's very noticeable when someone else says that or thinks that, because we immediately know that that person is stopping himself or herself from being different or being a better version of themselves. But this is an attitude that we often have in ourselves as well, but we don't really see it. Now, I know that there are many things about ourselves that we don't want to change. There are things that are truly unique to our personality that we want to hold on to with all our life. But if we find ourselves, if you find yourself holding on to some harmful behaviors or qualities that we feel maybe that we cannot change in the first place, or more honestly, I feel that we believe that this is something that we do not need to change, then we're not really being our true selves. Because as humans, we're not always the best version of ourselves. We do have the potential of being good, but our good qualities are often hidden within ourselves, and it takes a lot, it takes a village literally to make us who we are today. So it takes our family, it takes our choices, it takes our friends, it takes our colleagues, and all who we surround ourselves with to finally make us who we are today. And in case the balance had tipped in any of these areas, we could find ourselves in a completely different scenario right now. So what I'm trying to say is, we need to change. Obviously, none of us are perfect, so that's the first thing. And secondly, we can change. So it's not like this is me and this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I, as a human, have the ability to change and evolve, and hopefully evolve in a positive way. So when we tend to say I am like this only, or this is the way I am, we are either saying that I'm perfect, which I don't think any of us can say, or we're saying that I know I'm not perfect, but I don't want to change. This is what you're going to get. And that is where we are stopping ourselves. That is where we are ending our evolution into better human beings, because we are telling ourselves and telling others that this is who we're going to be for the rest of our lives. Now, this might not seem like a problem to you, but if you think about it, if you let any murderer or rapist or anyone who's committed a very serious crime, as we view it, to say to society that this is what you're going to get, this is who I'm going to be, I am like this only, then we're not going to let that person live out their true selves in that way, aren't we? We're going to put a stop to that, obviously. But when we think of ourselves, then why do we say that we can't change? If we expect a certain standard from others, don't you think you should expect the same from yourself? Because all of us know where we stand. All of us know what our weaknesses are. All of us know what we need to work on. It might be something that you have known for years. It might be something that somebody's recently pointed out. But what I want to say is there are things in ourselves that we want to change, and maybe we've found it hard in the past to actually change it because it takes a while to change something that is deeply ingrained in us, especially if you've been doing it since childhood. But let me tell you that there is hope, there is a way to change. You just need to be dedicated to it and make the choice that this is not something I want in my life because it is stopping me from being my true self. If you accept it as a part of your life, if you accept it as a part of your personality, if you accept it as a part of who you are, it's going to be harder to change. If you realize that this is not who I am, this is not who I want to be, then immediately it is something that is separate from you. So when it is separate from you, it is easier to remove from your life. As long as it is a part of you, you're going to resist. You're going to tell yourself that this is not what I want to change in me because this is me. But it is not you. Your true self is much better than what you think of it right now. Now, the second block or attitude I want to talk about is something that you might have again not noticed in your life. But in our quest to be our unique self, in our quest to succeed, in our quest to be that perfect ideal person that we see in our head, sometimes we believe that our interests, our dreams, our ideals are more important than anybody else. And it does not matter if what we want gets in the way of somebody else's life or inconveniences somebody else or disregards somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that you need to take into account everybody else's feelings, and if you are pursuing your dream, that if somebody is upset, that is your fault. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in our everyday life, when we try to achieve our goals, we sometimes disregard other people's goals and interests and other people's lives as a whole. Now, this might happen in very subtle ways, and you might think that I'm not talking about you, but don't click off just yet. Now, I understand all of us have the instinct or desire to safeguard our interests and the interests of those we love. But in the process of safeguarding, if we are trampling over other people's purpose or other people's lives, then we are not actually living our true self, because our true self is human. So that by extension means that our true self is humane. It can be as simple as cutting into traffic at a high speed without regard for other people's lives when you're trying to reach a job interview of your dream job. Or it can be even more drastic when we get a colleague fired in order to get a promotion that was slated for them. Our competitive, selfish side rears its ugly head at times. We try to often justify it by saying that we are trying to become our true self. This is our unique contribution to the world, and this is what I need to be. But we are only deluding ourselves. There is enough space in this world for each and every individual who is born into this world to thrive. Everyone can live their best lives, everyone can live their purpose, everyone can leave a legacy. There is enough sun for every single person. We don't need to compete with somebody else's space in order to get ahead. If you find yourself with that attitude that I need to get ahead, I need to do this, I need to achieve that, and no matter what happens to the others around me, I am going to be my best self, then you're not really being your best self, because as I said earlier, your best self is going to be humane. You're going to be compassionate towards other individuals. You're going to be compassionate towards those you see as your competitors, because at the end of the day, as I said before, all of us have our space. We don't need to compete with others to get that space. If you're not getting a promotion in your own firm, there might be a space for you somewhere else. So it's not like you need to fight for that space alone. There are so many times where your purpose might be lived out in a different way than you imagined it to be. So that does not mean that what you have seen in your life, what you imagine, has to come true. So I really hope that what I shared today has touched a nerve, because even though it might make you not want to click on my videos again, I really wish that something has struck a nerve within you, because that is what is going to help you realize that in the first place these are attitudes or mental blocks that you had, and you didn't even realize that they were mental blocks. These are just things that we have within us, whether it's because society around us has that or we as humans have that, I don't know, but we have that, and many of us have that, and it is noticeable in others very easily, but it's hard to notice that within ourselves unless we have people around us who are honest with us, and that's not often the case. So I want to be that person, that honest person, that honest friend to tell you that you might have these attitudes within you, and if you do, there's nothing wrong with it, but it needs to come out of your life to enable you to be that person that you envision in your mind, that person that you see and you believe that you truly are. So finally, at the end of this video, at the end of this video series, I want to say that go do you, be you, live you, and just remember these two blocks that can hinder you, and as soon as you remember them, try to break them down, because you can. There's so much satisfaction and meaning waiting for you on the other side if you choose to break down these blocks. I hope what I said shone a light in your dark places as it once did in mine, and I hope that your life is better for it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos on everything life.